besides just custom formulas, you can also create custom menus and change the user interface of your Google spreadsheet. So that's what we're going to do in this video. We're going to create custom menus as well as a custom sidebar. So let's dive right in. So we have this spreadsheet with an example with some data in cell A1 and B1. We created this custom script called myFunction that takes those values in cell A1 and B1, multiplies them, and then puts them into cell C3. So what I would like to do is create a custom menu so that I can trigger this script from this menu at the top. So the way to do that is to go into our Google Apps script cheat sheet and follow this link to the Google Apps documentation. So if we're in there, we can click in the top on Guides. And then on the left-hand side in the menu, we'll see menus, dialogues, and sidebars. So here we can create a custom menu. So this will look a bit like this as you see on the image. So if we then scroll down, we can just copy paste this script here, function on open, and put that in our script. So what this function means is that on open, which is a default function within the script editor, which means that when you open the script or when you open your spreadsheet, this function gets triggered automatically. So it defines a UI variable, which is literally getting the UI from the current app. It then says within that UI, create a menu named custom menu and add an item named first item that triggers the script menu item 1. So we don't have this function, but we have the myFunction function. So let's use that. And let's just change this myFunction to something else. Let's call it multiplication, because myFunction is a bit unclear. So we add an item called first item called multiplication. Let's also change this to multiply. Then it adds a separator, then it adds a submenu with another item, and then it adds it to the UI. So we don't want these two steps. We just want to have that. So let's save this. And then we can refresh the page, or we can just hit run and run the onOpen function. So if we run that, execution started and execution completed. So we now have a custom menu with the multiply script in here. So if we click on here, a script is triggered, and as you saw here, the two values are multiplied. So if I change this to 250 and then go into the menu and hit multiply again, it changes that value. So that's how you can create custom menus. You can add unlimited amount of items in here with like sub items and link them to custom functions and custom scripts that you have created. So that's quite a neat way to trigger scripts via the menu instead of going into the editor. So one other way I wanted to show you is via the sidebar. So instead of custom menus at the top, it's also possible to create custom sidebars. So again, if we go back into the documentation and then take the second tab in the sidebar on the left, it says dialogues and sidebars. We can scroll down a bit. So here it shows you how to create alert dialogues or the prompts, custom dialogues, which you can all use. What we would like to do is create a sidebar. So let's see here, custom sidebars. So custom sidebars are nothing else than a HTML file that is loaded within your spreadsheet. So you can just use HTML and CSS to style that sidebar. And I think the main use case for it is to just add more explainer documentation for your spreadsheet. Maybe add some logos if you're sharing it outside of your organization, but also to add buttons in there that can trigger certain scripts. So let's do that. Let's copy this code. So there's a function named show sidebar. So let's just copy this all over and replace our existing onOpen function. Okay, so the function onOpen now gets a UI, adds a menu to the UI, adds an item, show sidebar, and gives the function show sidebar. And this function show sidebar is finding an HTML file named page. So I already created this page. And what I did, I changed the body of the page. If you haven't created that yet, you can just copy paste this and change the body. So copy paste this inside the body of your file. So back into the first function file. It then sets a title, my custom sidebar that we can change, and then it adds this sidebar to the UI. So let's see how this will look like. So if we change this to the show sidebar function and run that, execution completed. And then on the right side, we see indeed our sidebar appearing. So the styling is now like very basic. You can make this look much better. And you can see that there is like a default button already to close the sidebar. And if you go into menu, there's currently no function there. But if we would run our onOpen function, it should change our menu to the show sidebar. If we hit that, it will add the sidebar in there. So you can also change this script so that this is triggered on open, so that the sidebar is right away available on open. Kind of depends what you want to do with that and what you want to put inside of your sidebar. For this video, I just wanted to show you that this is possible. And if you have any questions on that, just let me know. Happy to help you out and guide you in the right direction. As I said before, the main purpose is really to add some explainer text there, to add some buttons to guide people when you're using a spreadsheet, and especially the more complex spreadsheet can be very helpful to have some guidance in the sidebar. So good luck with that. Let me know if you run into anything, and otherwise I'll see you in the next video.